on learning, starting from Adam to Noah. And I think this is one of the verses, I'm trying to see if I'm correct, that we also skipped the last time now on learning. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know if maybe it's important for us to teach you, or you can actually go to the next chapter.
That's chapter 5, isn't it?
Yes, chapter 5.
Also, chapters 5, they appear people like Enoch. At the end chapter, the last verses, I think they also talk about the existence of Noah, coming up with like almost 500 years there. So chapter Enoch is one of those people that has been quoted in the book of Jude as well. Enoch walked with God. That's a very important lesson if you find out he walked with God 365 years. After that period, God took him. That means this man never experienced death, but he was taken like someone from his living. God sees that this person will be defiled by the earth, then God takes him away. He's one of those people that never experienced death. So it's an important lesson also on that chapter 5. Those generations are very important. We also know about Adam as well, bearing a son and calling him Seth, a son like Adam, who replaced Abel. You see, Abel was killed by Cain, and he was of the righteous generation. So we see Seth appearing, and is one of the generations of the righteous people. So in that chapter has got some important characters that I've spoken about. I think so. All right.
Okay, so my title is our reader. So it's kind of Genesis chapter 5. We're going to be learning about just the history of who was born from whom. So you guys remember in our previous chapter, there were the first two people that were created, Adam and Eve and Tika. And they had their own kids, two children, Cain and Abel. And then Cain killed Abel. So now we only had 3 people left. And it doesn't make sense from the family, it doesn't make sense. Who were the first 2 people that were created by God? Yes. And then what happened? How many children do they give birth to? Their names? Good girl. And then what happened in that chapter that we read the last time? Frank? Cain killed Abel. So now how many people are left in our reading? 3, right? So that's what we are trying to catch up on now. So in the last verses of chapter 4, God tells us that Adam and Eve have another child called Seth. So now what we'll be doing here is to try and read from that family line to understand from Seth who came about, what happened. So we heard of the lives of Enoch, as Francis was saying. So you guys must pay a lot of attention. There's a lot of detail. You can grab whatever you can, but there's a lot of detail. So let's just pay attention and it's more of a reading, and then we'll talk about it. Tell you want to read for us Genesis 5 from this one.
Genesis 5, verse 1. These are the family records of the descendants of Adam. On the day that God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. He created the male and female. When they were created, he blessed them and told the man. Adam was 130 years old when he created a child in his likeness, according to his image. Adam lived 800 years until the birth of Sarah, and he fathered sons and daughters. So Adam's life lasted 930 years and 400 years.
So I wish you guys heard me. How many years Adam lived? 930 years. How big a number is that? 930 years. Do you guys know how old that is? In comparison to, you guys think Enoch is 100 years old now? Or word of the person at least. It's rare, isn't it? There's people, but it's very rare. But here we have a person like Adam, the first man that God created, living up to 930 years. That is a long time. And just to give you guys a bit of background, it is because these people did not sing as much as we did back in the days. That's why if you listen to maybe an example, if you listen to your parents, your life will be elevated. Because if you listen to your parents, bad things. And maybe you could live up until 900 years old. It's not possible. But you could aim a bit higher and just try and push God, say, you want a better life, motivate it. Even to something whether it's me, Uncle Francis, or any of the opportunities you listen, including Mama and Date as woman, to try and live as long as you can. The longest time, but maybe it's not on the friend live up to 150 years, up to whatever I means, because it's never been very often. So just to take note of that, guys, if you carry yourself on and listen, you will live as long as these people, one day. As man, Adam had a son called Seth. So he lost Abel, and then he gave birth to a son called Seth. Yes, he had many other sons after that and daughters, but the nature said that. So you just listen to T as she reads, and then I'll ask you guys what you have picked up. And can I see that mood, so you must raise up your hand so she can be more vocal if you can't hear her.
Seth was 105 years old and he fathered Seth lived 800 years after the death of Enoch, and he fathered sons and daughters. So Seth's life lasted 912 years, then he died. Enoch was about 90 years old when he fathered Cain. Enoch lived 840 years after the death of Cain and fathered sons and daughters. So Enoch's life lasted 905 years, then he died. Cain was 70 years when he fathered Mahalalel. Cain lived 840 years after the birth of Mahalalel and fathered sons and daughters. So Cain's life lasted 910 years when he died. Mahalalel was 665 years old when he fathered Jared. Mahalalel lived 830 years old after the birth of Jared, and he fathered sons and daughters. So Mahalalel's life lasted 895 years when he died. Jared was 162 years old when he fathered Enoch. Jared lived 800 years after the birth of Enoch, and he fathered sons and daughters. So Jared's life lasted 962 years when he died. Enoch was 65 years when he fathered Methuselah, and after the birth of Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years when he fathered sons and daughters. So Enoch's life lasted 365 years. Enoch walked with God, and he was not dead because God took him. Methuselah was 187 years old when he fathered Lamech. Methuselah lived 782 years after the birth of Lamech, and he fathered sons and daughters. So Mahalalel's life lasted 969 years when he died. Lamech was 182 years when he fathered sons, and he named Noah, saying, this one will bring us relief from the labor of our hands, because we are to love the Lord and his children. Lamech lived 585 years after the birth of Noah and fathered sons and daughters. So Lamech lived life lasted 777 years, then he died. Noah was 500 years, and then he fathered Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Okay, to the babies. I'd like to tell them, actually tell them that did you hear all the big numbers she was mentioning? The hundreds. You guys hear them or not? Okay, so Ted was mentioning a lot of years, like 182 years, someone is giving birth to their first child. But people were living up to 700 and something years, 800 and something years, 900 and something years. No one is living less than 500 years in this book from our reading. So what does that tell you guys? From what I explained earlier and what we're seeing in this chapter, what does that tell you guys about these people? They lived for so long. I don't know what that tells you guys, but you guys take away from that. Yes, Frank?
Speak aloud.
Speak up. You can stand up if you want to catch us. That is good. Did you guys hear what Frank said? Frank, listen, you must speak at these people. They're very old. They can't hear you. And sun years, it's rain nowadays. So from what I've mentioned before, maybe also building onto what friends said, why do you think they lived for so long? Yes. Thank you. So the answer is basically the same to us. Yes, sir.
They lived for so long to really show that God wanted people to live longer or to last forever on earth. That's a sign of the number that He wanted us to live eternally here.
Did you guys hear that? So when God created Adam and Eve, remember, there was no death in the beginning, and it's like, what does that tell us? What anyone can repeat what I'm trying to say to show that you guys are listening. Anyone. Adam and Eve were being put on the earth. God created them. There was no death at that time. Why? Yes, friend? Did you hear what Frank said, guys? He said because God told them not to sin. And I'm guessing they didn't sin. And that's why at that time there was no death sentence. Liz, you wanted to say something? You must speak. And don't be scared of these people. Don't be scared of them. You must speak. And no answer is the wrong answer. Because next time you'll be standing there teaching your friends. All of you guys, you must be scared. Yes, madam. Because God wanted people to stay alive. So, very correct. Forever and ever. God was created for us to enjoy. That's what it was for. That's what was not death sentence. And God gave them. And in living forever, it was conditioned that you must be obedient. There was conditions on it, guys. And you know what? These conditions still apply to you guys as well. Even today. And that's why we come to church every day. Why? Because we want to live forever. Unfortunately, the forever is not here on earth anymore. And you all know if you die, where do you want to go? To hell or to heaven? To heaven and that's where the foreverness is coming in. So to be able to go to heaven and live forever, what must we do? What must we do? Don't sin. And listen to your parents. Because you don't know how to not sin on your own. And because you were born just last week, you don't know what's wrong and right. But Mama knows. And Bafundis, all these your fathers and mothers, your fathers in this room right now, they know. So in listening, so Adam and Eva, they couldn't listen to God. And they ended up dying. Yes, they're 900 years old, but they ended up dying. So you guys must listen so you can be able to enter the gate of heaven and live forever. And I'm sure you guys want to live forever. Right? Friend, you're going to live forever with your little brother in heaven one day. Exactly. So I want to know from everything we've spoken about today, maybe you can refer to other lessons from previously. What is the one thing that you have heard? And maybe you can take maybe to your friends or for yourself. What is it? One thing. If you have a lot of things, you can also mention them. From today's lesson, from last week's lesson, that's also fine. Any lesson from since we started Sunday school. Anything. You guys must have something. I'll always ask you guys. Anything. Any lesson. Even from today, right now, we're talking about listening. We're talking about being obedient. So I want to know, what is your take, you guys? From all the lessons we've learned, you told me what you learned last week. So an example like that. What is your takeaway, guys? Anything. Yes?
Like if you don't listen to your parents, you end up doing the wrong thing.
That is true. That's really now. That is a fantastic answer. And you guys, you know that's what you are learning. Anyone else? Angela, please, if you don't obey your parents and God, you get punished. And it's fantastic answer. I think we're going to go.
You should try and see.
Just the lesson, guys. You listen to your parents, you listen to God, and in listening, you don't sin and you live longer. That's all the Bible wants you guys to learn. So in every chapter that you listen to, try and listen to those little points. Because every book in the Bible, I'm telling you guys, that's the underlying lesson. Listen to God and do the right thing. You will live longer. So that is the underlying message that you guys should try and take out of everything that you read. That it's going forward. Yes, please.
Maybe one thing that would help
Guys, because I'll ask you guys what to say that's
that will help you guys. The other reason why those people whom you have of that they lived a long time, up to 500, 800, 900 years, is because they had a good relationship with God and they maintained that relationship with God. Because you can't have a good relationship now, then after a while you start to behave badly. God doesn't want that. So they maintained that good relationship. That's why they lived long. How can we maintain a good relationship with God? One, we should pray. We should learn to pray. Praying is to ask God for a long life, for wisdom, for good health, for Him to take care of our parents. That's praying. So at our tender age, we should learn how to pray. Is it not so? So by so doing, we'll be maintaining our good relationship with who? With God. And that's what these guys were doing for them to live long. Maintain a good relationship with God through prayer. We should be prayerful. At our age, we should learn to pray to God. By going to church, it's a way of maintaining a good relationship with God. Not just to be absent. Even if the parents say you want to go today, tell them that I still want to maintain a good relationship with God. Make a plan so that I can go and do what I'm supposed to be doing so that I can live long. Thank you.
You guys hear that wonderful message? My shoes are up. It's like even if you are praying in church, you must also pray. You must also close your eyes and kneel and talk to God. You must have to time by time. You guys are good. I don't know that they want to hear what the people just said, or to tell me what they've heard, to make sure that you guys are listening. Please. That is good. So now guys, we must make God your friend. And God is always there with you, right next to you. All you have to do is talk to Him. And as the food said, how do we talk to Him? Yes, friend? Exactly. Did you want to say something different? Exactly that. And it's because the answer is the same. Through prayer. Even if you're in class and it feels like there's a little bit of hardship, test time, just close your eyes for a brief 2 minutes, 2 seconds. God, please help me. Because you know what God says, guys, in the Bible? He says you must ask Him if you want something. Do you understand what that means? He wants to do anything for you, but you must ask Him. And don't ever feel like your requests are too small. There's no such thing. God is your best friend. As we go forward, you guys will hear about a man called Abraham, and he will explain to you exactly what Felix is talking about. Relationship with God. God being your friend. Those things don't just come by you guys. You put them up You put in an effort up with your friends. You guys talk every Sunday because you guys are friends. If you guys don't talk every Sunday or you guys see each other, you wouldn't be friends. So you also want to have that sort of relationship with God. Talk to Him. Pray to Him. Don't wait for Mama to say Takuna Mati. Don't wait for Sunday to church on your own room. So you guys must practice that. So today we've learned to be obedient, to listen to God and our parents, to have a longer life, and so doing, to have a relationship and make God your friend. He wants to be your friend. You guys just have to allow Him. By doing exactly what your friends was telling you. Hallelujah.
Amen.
You guys over next week. You guys might say last week. You know, when I assume them out, I found that I got to this hour. And it's you guys must raise up. Not only to change, I didn't see Savannah Mama. They raise up their hands like they're in class. And it's even what you can do my class Monday to Friday. So I want to see them out. They assume them out. Come with a no. Should be the class as well. kuzomona kupasa nditi ngatipasine kutyoro tipasine kuzvinhu zvamwari anditika mwari vanosara kusudza makuru kutaura kwamatanga timatokomborereka zvisingaiti. Even your exams are going to go very well just because of that small gesture. Anditika, good job guys. Hallelujah.
Amen.
So, do you want to sing something just for the ladies?
Okay. You guys must learn yourselves. But what you can do now is you can now join the other section of the, you can get into the youth side. I can see you've got the youth. You remember the book that you are doing? You left it hanging in the air. We've got like 15, 20, because I can see it's 21 minutes to go. So we can go into the book of Daniel now. You can finish off. I don't know what song you can sing.
Just maybe to
commanded them that they should also bring some young guys, good looking, so that he can use them in his kingdom. So we find that people like Daniel were also taken. Who else? The other three guys that we know. Meshach, Shadrach, Abednego. And you see that those guys were also taken to carry to Babylon in that attack. So when that happened, we see it's God who allowed and gave them like that, and they went. So these young guys were already now in Babylon. So they were taken again into the king's palace, and they dwelt in the king's palace. Then the king says, choose these guys. I want these guys to be fed for almost like 3 years. How many years? 3 years. When they are nourished, they are fed nicely. They're going to be looking handsome, good. You know, someone is well fed, looking chubby with the cheeks, and he can present himself before the king. So that happened. But now with these guys, they say in their heart, no, we don't want to defile ourselves with the king's wine, the king's food, the quality food. No, just allow us 10 days. 10 days, and then we can be nourished with water and vegetables. In that period, then look at us and see how we're going to be looking. Who was in charge then? Who was in charge? Who was in charge of Daniel and whatever? Who was assigned to look after Daniel? The name starts with M. Means, no, look, I'm not going to read everything for you. I want you to know that was in charge. He says, no, you want to endanger me before the king. That you are not eating nicely. Then in that period, the king is going to kill my head. He's going to cut off my head and say, why are these guys not eating, looking nice, so that they're going to look nice and present themselves before the king? He says, please, just allow us 10 days. 10 days is enough. And then come and assess us and how we're going to be looking. Then afterwards, you know what happened? They looked, they were given 10 days to eat vegetables and drink water. And in that period, they were looking good, great, and they were wiser, 10 times wiser than the magicians and all other people around the wise men. So when these guys were taken, we assessed and said, no. So then the portion of the food which was given to them was taken away. So when it was taken away, they were left undefiled. Can you see what happened? So that's how when you read the book of Daniel, it really should understand that this is exactly what someone believes and faith in God and trust that God can do extraordinary things to you, it really happens. You trust God, like Daniel trusted God, and extraordinary things happen to these guys. They were looking great, these guys. Very wonderful, isn't it? So we're talking about deaths like 605, we are counting backwards. 589, you see that we are coming down, until to about 444, when Nehemiah went down to rebuild Jerusalem. Can you see that? So in the year 444 BC, Nehemiah went and rebuilt Jerusalem. So we need to have accuracy look at it in the book of Daniel. Now the first section of the book, the second book, the first section of Daniel chapter 2. We just want to read it a bit and see what happened when Daniel dreamed the dream. The first session, we're not going to talk about the dream. I want you guys, when you're talking about the dream, have a piece of paper. I want you to draw that big picture that Nebuchadnezzar dreamt of. That picture of a human being who in this section here, the top of God, silver, bronze, iron and clay on the legs. I want you guys to have one day to demonstrate to us when we're doing that chapter. They have a good picture. For that picture is very significant in the prophetic period that we are living. Some of the things have been completed, fulfilled, but others have not yet been fulfilled. So when you are reading that section, I want you to have an open mind and research and find out exactly which prophecy has been fulfilled, which is not fulfilled. So that is the second section of the book of Daniel. So now we just want to read very quickly the first section of the book of Daniel. Then we can take it from there. I've given you a rough summary of the book of Daniel. Can you see that? I want you to, from there now, when you are reading, you know exactly what's happening. Now we see now Daniel, those guys, other three guys, Meshach, Abednego, where they are now in Babylon. Can you see that? That's where they are in the king's palace. So let's read now and understand what's happening. Let's read the first section, right? Chapter 2 of the book of Daniel, the first section.
orders to summon the divine priests, minions, sorcerers, and to tell the king his dream. When they came and stood before the king, he said to them, I have had a dream and I am anxious to understand it. The attendant spoke to the king, Aaron and Kinsia. May the king live forever. Tell your servants down and worship him immediately. Be thrown into the furnace and blazing fire. Therefore, when all the people heard and the sound of the horn, flute, zither, harp, and every kind of music, people of every nation and language fell down and worshipped the gold statue that the king.
No. There's something wrong. You skipped something. I can feel it.
Verse 5.
Did you skip it then? Yes, can you see that? Right.
Tell your servants the dream and we will give the interpretation. The king replied to the channels, my word is final. If you tell me the dream and its interpretations, you will be torn from him to me, and your house will be made a garbage dump. But if you make the dream and its interpretation known to me, you will receive gifts and rewards and great honor from me. So make the dream and its interpretation known to me. They answered the second time, may the king tell the dream to his servants and he will give the interpretation. The king replied, I know for certain, trying to gain some time because you see that my word is final. If you don't tell me the dream, there is one district for you. You have conspired to tell me something false and fraudulent until the solution changes. So tell me the dream and I know you can change it. The channels answered, no one on earth can make no whilst the king praised him. Constantly the no king, however great and powerful, has ever asked anything like of this, any divine priest made a whole chapter. What the king is asking is so difficult that no one can make it to him except the gods, whose reign is nice with mortality. Because of the mercy, the king became violent and gave orders to destroy all the gods they had.
Right. What this is that? 18. Verse 12. Okay, we wanted to go to verse until verse 17 maybe. But so that it can be split properly. But now let's end it because of our time. Did we get the reading part of the verse? Did we get the reading part of the verse? What happened? You can see Nebuchadnezzar had dreams, isn't it? So he dreamed of something, but that something went away. Not something that can come from God. It comes and it will trouble you. This thing troubled the king. I've got a dream, but I can't remember the dream. Have you ever done such a thing? There is a dream there, but I can't remember it. Please call the magicians, all those people, everyone around, those ones whom I call the wise people, to come and tell me what that dream is. Imagine, you want to really someone to tell you the dream that you have dreamed of. How difficult is it? Sometimes it happens with this, with the apostles. You can dream something here. Baba, someone in a certain place can know that you have dreamt of this thing. Can you see what I'm saying? Do you understand? Someone spiritual can know that what you have dreamt of. And can even say, you have dreamt about this thing. God can show a person like that. So this thing was not possible with the magicians because they didn't have the spirit of God. You see that? That was the devil in around all these wise people. So when they were called, the king says, I've got a dream. There is a dream, but it it has just gone out of me. It's troubling me. I want to know. Who can tell me? You wise people, tell me. Ah, no king. What you are asking is a different thing. There's no one who has ever asked such a thing. No king on earth has ever asked such a thing. Why are you asking such a thing? You tell us the dream and then we'll tell you the interpretation, isn't it? It's not always someone must tell you the dream and then you get the interpretation. But says, no, you must tell me this dream. You must. They continue talking this discussion and said, okay, you are counting one time so that I will change my mind. I'm not going to change my mind. If you don't do this thing, you will all be killed and your houses will be destroyed, will be waste. Can you see that? So this is exactly what the king did for a long time. I wanted you to further it down. It will explain to you that even Daniel also heard the word that they were going also to be killed. Then he says, oh, why king is your request is so hasty? Why is it so quick? Why have you asked me that you make it so quick that people should be killed? Give us time. He went to the king and says, give us time and then we will give you the dream and the interpretation thereof. Can you see how faithful, how the much faith that these guys like Daniel had? So if we read down further, just a few verses down, until maybe verse 17, you will know the request. And they prayed to their God of heavens, so that God would have mercy on them and he would not be killed together with these magicians.